Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So, wanted to my roosters, man, I'm telling you, they just can't get right. So, wanted to go over something that, just was brought to my attention recently. Well, not brought to my attention. It's something that I ran into when I first got here, but it was just brought to my attention again by somebody that I met off of my page who we email back and forth a lot. Once again, somebody who's thinking about relocating to Belize, and something that he ran into that completely shocked him. And I figured I'd do a video about that. I'm going to do a whole series. I get a lot of questions on pretty much everything that me and my wife have been through since we've been here, and all of the research that we've been able to put together, which I have to be honest with you is a lot. To give you a backdrop, if this is your first time watching, welcome. To give you a backdrop, we moved to Belize about 3 years ago. We came here on vacation and we went back to the States, and we just decided, you know what, we just want to do something different. Excuse me. Now, whether we do this for the rest of our lives or it's just temporary, we haven't figured that out yet, but we just knew that we wanted something different. We wanted to change. So we jumped in our vehicles and we gathered up what we could. We sold everything and we drove to Belize. And we ended up coming here. We did absolutely zero research. Now, one of the main reasons why we chose Belize was because it's English speaking. The second reason why we chose Belize is the affordability, right? I mean, most people come to Belize and other places throughout the world because it is affordable. In my opinion, and again, these are just all my opinions. In my opinion, people move around throughout the world based on their income and the economy and what's affordable to them. Meaning a lot of people that are here, they're here because they can't afford to have a place in the Keys. It's just that simple. I mean, people can say what they want. You can make up your own opinions, but it is absolute truth. Some people are here because it's easier for them to get citizenship here than anywhere else. There's a long list of why people move around, but in my opinion, the number one thing is going to be affordability and what things cost. So through all our research of looking for land and looking for house, excuse me, and I'm going to put this into a series because I get so many questions on it. So I'm going to do a series on the house, the land, the process that we went through when we were looking for a well, insurance, whether you should be worried about termites on a prefab home, solar, what kind of land you should look for, if, depending on what you're going to be using your land for, why nearby conveniences are a good thing, even furniture, where we got some of our furniture from and how we built the rest of our furniture, appliances, and of course, getting into Belize, getting your first basic contacts, and just finding your flow, your people, and what works for you. So when we got here, we had just come back off of vacation. It was at the very end of the pandemic, and there was land for sale everywhere. And you could still even find quarter lots, not on the water, but around Placencia, for around 30 US thousand. So there was still, not a bunch, but there was still a few 30,000 quarter acre or just under lots that were still in the Placencia area. And for us, that was a big factor because we figure if it's that way there, it's going to be that way everywhere throughout Belize. So like I said, we just picked up, moved, sold our house in the States. We figure we'll just figure it out when we got here. And we had to go through the learning process of, number one, living in a country that we've never lived in before, finding out how everything works, and researching everything. So if you're thinking about making the jump and moving to Belize, the first thing that I want you to keep in mind is that most people are going to think you're rich. If you can move to a different country right out of the gate, to a lot of people, you are going to be considered rich. You have money. And I'm going to tell you, that is not the case with most of the people that I've met here in Belize that migrated to Belize. A lot of people have money. A lot of people started Airbnbs. A lot of people started little businesses. but the majority of the people that I've met here are not loaded with money. And I've said in my videos before, me and my wife, we are not loaded with money. You know, if I was loaded with money, I would have, both of us would have brand new vehicles, not vehicles that are pushing 25 years old. Me, I don't believe in making car payments, and our vehicles are mechanically sound. And, you know, for us, it's not about flashy things anymore. It's about using money on other things and just common sense. So one of the things that we noticed, and so this has happened to not a whole lot, but I'm going to say it's happened to anywhere between 6 to 10 people that we have met since we've been here living in Belize. So, you know, the first thing that people do when they come here is they start looking at property right away. There's all, like I said, there's all the little posts. They're all over San Pedro, Cape Calker, Placencia, Punta Gorda, there, San Ignacio, Santa Elena, Spanish Lookout, Belmont, Hopkins, you know, Burro Boom, Ladyville, Orange Walk, Corzel. They're everywhere. You are going to find realtors selling land everywhere. And that's really what the first person starts looking at, is the land. And you can get so excited that you can purchase a piece of land without really thinking about anything else. And this is why I wanted to do this video before I got into the series. The second most important thing that I can tell you that you're going to want to do if you're moving to Belize, in my opinion, once again, it's not just going to be the land. It's going to be what you're going to build on that land. And I can only speak in experience from prefab, Mennonite, wood-built houses. I'm not referencing to the concrete houses, but this did happen to a couple people that I know personally that were getting ready to have a concrete house built. Now, let me tell you the scenario. You come down here, you're searching, you find a piece of land, and, you know, once again, you're coming here because it's affordable. You're getting a lot of land for pennies on the dollar of what you would spend in the States. So you're figuring that everything else is going to be the same way. And at one point in time, it actually was. Like when I tell you that we got here just as the 8 ball turned, per se. So we got here just on the tail end before everything went through the roof. So the second most important thing, in my opinion, that you're going to want to do as soon as you start looking for land, simultaneously, side by side, you're going to want to start to look at what the prices are to build on that land. And let me tell you why. Because the people that I'm referring to had purchased land here in Belize, went back, and had come back here within a couple years. And when they got back here, after they had already sold everything that they had in the States, they had already sold, got rid of everything, and came here, they didn't bother looking to see what the cost to build stuff was. And what they found out when they got here is they could afford the land, but now they could not afford the price to have something built. And the price to get something built here now in 2024 going into 2025 might shock a lot of people when I tell you that if you didn't get here on that curve, or you're not getting here soon, it's supply and demand. A lot of people have moved here. People are waiting, especially on construction, concrete homes. People are waiting up to a year, 18 months to have something built. So that's going to bring me to the other thing. A lot of the construction workers that were here in Belize, they are in the US right now. And if you don't believe me, do your research. That is not my opinion, that is fact. Even the contractors here are having problems finding laborers, skilled laborers to do anything. So you really need to do your research, because a lot of people, when that border opened up, a lot of people left and went to the States. I can't blame them. Would you? You're making peanuts and you go make some gold. I can't blame them. But that had an effect on everybody who was coming to Belize. It is not as affordable to build something here in Belize now as you would think. And you can't just go with the first quote that you get. You have to, when I tell you, you have to research, you have to hit the ground. You have to meet people, you have to talk people, you have to get on the sites. There's so much. It wasn't something that we found in a day, an hour, a minute, a week, a month, 6 months, 9 months. It took me a year to find the person who built our home. And right after he built our home, he even admitted that he could not build our home now. And this was the day that we basically got the keys. He could not rebuild the house after he built it for the quote that he gave us when he started, which was just shortly before. So basically what has happened here in Belize is you get supply and demand. You have so many people that are coming to Belize, and because the construction of concrete, masonry, brick homes, however you want to say it, is delayed because there's a shortage of laborers, there's a shortage of skilled labor, and there's so many projects going on that, let me give you a for instance. If somebody gives you a quote on a brick house and they say that they can start here at this time, and you're counting on that, and little Susie has something that she wants built, but the contractor tells her that, you know, he can't start on her house until he's finished with yours. Well, little Susie is desperate, so little Susie offers $10,000 more. Guess who the contractor's house is going to start on first? Here in Belize. Not in the States, here in Belize, where you can get away with stuff like that. Exactly. He's going to go with little Susie, who just offered more money. So that's what's happened. People have come here, and there has been a shortage here. So it's supply and demand. When people get desperate, when they sell everything and they move here, or they're opening up a little Airbnb or what have you, and they bet everything, and they realize when they get here that they can't get it, number one, for what they thought they could get it for in their head, or number two, how fast that they could get it done. So now their back's against the wall. So now what happens? People get desperate. When people get desperate, they do desperate things. And what I mean by that is paying more money for a product, and that makes the whole industry. Somebody's like, wow, how much did you get paid for building that 20 by 30 prefab Mennonite home down the street? That much, really? Well, man, I've been selling it for that much. Well, if this person paid, this person's going to pay. So now, I'll be honest with you, everybody, including the Belizeans, are getting the same prices across the board. And let me tell you what, me personally, I didn't come to Belize at all to spend the kind of money here having something built that costs less or the same amount of money in the States. Why would anybody do that? Think about it. Most people don't do that. Most people don't sell everything they have and say, do you know what? I'm going to move to a different country because it costs more to build in that country than where I'm at, so I'm going to go to that country and spend more money. I'm just here to tell you, I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer. I'm not trying to tell you don't move to Belize. I'm trying to tell you that you need to be prepared and do your research. You can also still find really good deals here in Belize. You just have probably wait a little bit longer. There's nothing wrong in waiting. You have to do your research. I'm telling you, if you come over here right now, if you just jump in your vehicle and you come over here because you have a piece of land and you're thinking it's going to cost X amount of dollars to get something built and it's going to be done in 30, 60, 90 days, I can tell you right now, it's not going to happen. And a lot of people that are living in Belize, please, if you agree with me, leave something in the comments so people just don't think I'm blowing smoke up there. You know what? This is actually what's going on in Belize. And the person that I just talked to the other day, it was really discerning and disheartening for this individual because they got a quote from somebody, and the quote that they got was so ridiculous. It was less to build the same structure in the States. So even this person had the same mentality. It's either putting them off for another 18 months to 2 years, or they have to find an alternative route to get someone to build their house. And I'm telling you, there are, but I'm also telling you, you have to know the right people. You're not just going to come here and, you know, miracles are going to happen. You have to put in your work. And, you know, a lot of people here bet on the new expat coming in with a bunch of stuff, not to make it in 6 months, and everything gets left here, sold here, divided up here, however you want to see it. I've seen it time and time and time again. I cannot tell you how many people that I've seen move here and are gone within a year. How many people, and not only that, how many people within the last 2 years that have just built here and went through the affordable stuff and are now getting out because Belize is expensive, prime real estate, especially on the water. Like I said, you have to do your research when it comes to this. So that's why I wanted to get this information out and to let you guys know that I am going to start a series that's going to have a bunch of different episodes in it. But I'm going to start, and I'm actually going to go to the places that I have dealt with. So I'm not just going to be telling you. I'm actually going to go and film the owners of these places, and I'm going to give you as much information as I possibly can, because I feel that it's important, because I don't want to see somebody else's dreams out there be tarnished because you didn't have information. So yes, absolutely. The second most important thing, if you are moving to Belize, getting ready to relocate to Belize, thinking about opening up an Airbnb, whatever else you're going to do, while you're looking for land, you better be looking for a builder. And when I tell you, do not take the first quote that you get. Do not take the first quote that you get. Automatically, everybody's going to think that you have money when you come over here. So I'm telling you, do not go with the first quote. Don't be too desperate to get your place built. Wait a little while. Everybody, and I've told so many people here this, everybody who rushes and pays more money to get their stuff built faster penalizes everybody. But those are normally the people that have the money. They do not care about the little man or the middleman. They only care about themselves. They have the money to do it, so they do it. So don't be that person. Don't be the person that ruins it for everybody else. Don't be the person that comes over here and pays more than it would cost in the US to have something built over here just because you didn't do your research and you're in a rush, and now the next person has to suffer. Like I said, in my opinion, the number one reason why people move throughout the world is affordability. So why, if you're coming from the UK, if you're coming from Canada, if you're coming from the USA, wherever you're coming from, you're coming here for a reason. Why would you pay more here for land or to have something built? It doesn't make sense. If that was the case, everybody would turn around and leave. Food for thought. Anyways, so yes, I'm going to be bringing a series to you guys, but I really wanted to get this information out there. Do your research. While you're looking at land, look for a builder. Keep in mind what you're building. Do your research. Never go with the first quote. There is a lot of people here that build, and I'm going to give you a tip. The best place to find them is on the streets. Hit the Mennonite communities. Hit the Mennonite communities, and don't just go in there just, hi, my name's Tom. This is my first time here, and just go right into it. I'm telling you, it took me months. You know, they're their own community. You have to know somebody, fit in, you know, barter, give and take, show that you're not just there to take, but that you're actually there to give. It'll take you a long way, especially here in Belize. A lot of things I've learned. I'm wanting to pass all this information on to like-minded people who can use it. So stay safe out there. Do your research. Look for your land. Look for your builder at the same time. Never go with the first quote. Hope you got some out of this video. If you like the content, please, as always, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, share it with your friends, and Belize is waiting. Thanks, everyone.